DDL donates over $11 million to CDC. Missing minor body found in MAZARUNI River. 7 injured after driver swerves to avoid cows. In the region, Brazilian court demands Bolsonaro's provide information on COPA America. And internationally, Uganda 2019 landslide survivors sue the government for failure to act. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Demerara Distillers Limited on Tuesday handed over $11.5 million in supplies to the Civil Defense Commission and the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security for people currently affected by the recent flooding caused by heavy rains. During the handing over, DDL's chairman Komal Samaru stated, quote, DDL would like to be supportive of the many citizens who are affected by the heavy rains and flooding at this time. We hope that our contribution will help in some measures to alleviate their pain and suffering at this difficult time. We stand ready and committed to supporting the CDC through their national efforts to provide much-needed aid to the affected families. End of quote. The company's donation to the CDC includes 1,000 cases of diamond mineral water, 700 cases of alcohol-based environment sanitizing cleaner, and 2,000 cases of Topco juice. DDL also donated 50 cases of environment sanitizing cleaner to the Ministry of Human Service and Social Security's flood relief drive. The donation is intended to provide affected families with access to clean drinking water and sanitizing agents as the country is also wrestling with the COVID-19 pandemic. The body of a missing Brazilian miner was found yesterday in the MAZARUNI River. Here is more from Esther Sobers.
Police are currently investigating the drowning of a miner whose body was discovered in the middle of MAZARUNI River on Tuesday around noon. The incident occurred sometime between May 29th and June 1st. 37-year-old Alessandro Foss was left to overlook a dragger commonly known as a water dredge in the vicinity of Poppy Show Landing, Middle MAZARUNI, but he subsequently went missing. According to reports, the police received information on Tuesday, June 1st, that Foss had not been seen for 3 days. Inquiries stated that the victim's boat was spotted drifted in the river. As a result, ranks from Bartica during further inquiries and search discovered the victim's body around 11:30 hours, floating face down in the middle of MAZARUNI vicinity of Suriname Landing. The body was taken to the Bartica Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. No marks of violence was found. The body is presently at the Bartica Hospital mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. Investigations are in progress. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. A 30-year-old taxi driver was robbed on Tuesday evening by bandits posing as customers on the east coast of Demerara. The driver was dispatched to the Giftland Mall, where he picked up 2 males requesting to be taken to Betty-for-Wacton. Around 9 p.m. in the vicinity of Risel's Masjid Road, the male seated at the back of the motorcar placed a knife to the victim's neck, and the other passenger in the front seat relieved him of cash and valuables worth over $600,000 before escaping. The victim alerted persons in the area, and a search by public-spirited citizens caught one of the suspects. The 18-year-old was found with a knife, clothing, and a duct tape. He was also seen with injuries to his left side head. He was then arrested and escorted to the Sparendam police station, then taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he was seen and examined medically by a doctor on duty. He is presently in police custody. Stick around, we've got more news for you after the break.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Alabama Trading has everything you need every day. The best brands at the lowest prices. And right now, you can save much more on a larger range of food products and everyday essentials. Choose from our extensive array of fresh and packaged food items. Plus, there's a huge variety in ladies' handbags and accessories, children toys, backpacks and school bags, bicycles, rugs, outdoor and indoor furniture, cleaning and sanitizing products, and so much more. Alabama Trading. Better products, better prices.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home. We also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Yesterday, the Ministry of Health received several personal protective pieces of equipment donated by the Government of Canada through a partnership with the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, in boosting Guyana's defense against COVID-19. The PPEs were handed over by Canadian High Commissioner Mark Burnman, Operations Officer at the World Bank Mr. Herbert Forrester, and PAHO WHO Representative Dr. Louis Philippe Codinier. The Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, said the medical supplies will protect frontline health workers, citizens, and greatly enhance Guyana's COVID-19 response efforts across the country as the pandemic prevails.
On behalf of the Government of Guyana, we would like to thank the government and people of Canada, and of course the World Bank for the financing that allowed us to procure these things. What we are looking at is using the donations that we've received and getting it out as fast as possible to our health workers so that they can get busy with the job of preventing COVID-19 infections. Among the things that we were able to buy with these monies have been the PPEs, which is the personal protection equipment, including face shields, goggles, N95 masks, gowns, the foot covers, ear covers, and this was really needed in the system.
Canadian High Commissioner Mark Burnman said Canada is committed to supporting Guyana in the fight against COVID-19.
Canada is very much committed to doing everything we can to assist in challenging times. We're providing these life-saving assistance in the region through PAHO, and we're very pleased to partner with PAHO and others.
The PPEs were purchased through a grant valued $5 million Canadian dollars from the Government of Canada through PAHO's Preparedness, Research and Response Initiative for Caribbean countries. A driver is in police custody after injuring several persons while swerving from a car. Esther Sobers has that story.
8 persons were injured early this morning in a motor vehicle accident at Edinburgh Public Road East, Bank Essequibo. Inquiries disclosed that just after midnight, motorcar PFF 9548 driven by Sabitri Ticharan was proceeding north along the Edinburgh Public Road at a fast rate of speed when the driver alleged that she saw 2 cows about 50 feet in front of her walking across the road. On seeing that, she applied brakes and swerved, losing control of the vehicle, which ended up in a trench. As a result, the driver and all the occupants received injuries to their bodies, and the car was also damaged. The injured persons were all taken to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital, where they were seen and examined by a doctor on duty. 5 of the occupants were admitted for observation in the accident and emergency unit, suffering from minor cuts and bruises on their bodies. 2 of the occupants were admitted to the female surgical ward, suffering from head injuries and bruises to their bodies. Their conditions are regarded as stable. The driver was treated and released before being taken into police custody, where a breathalyzer test was conducted on her, and the same read 0. A statement was taken from her, and she is presently assisting with investigations.
Thanks, Esther. In response to the recent flooding and the projected continuance of heavy rainfall, Opposition Leader Joseph Harman has announced that the APNU AFC has established a flood emergency center at the office of the Leader of the Opposition.
In view of the worsening situation and more intense rainfall projected, we have established a flood emergency center at the office of the Leader of the Opposition. We recognize that there has been and is likely to be more disruption to lives, damage to property, loss of crops and livestock. We recognize that there has been a shortage of information, advisories, and sufficient warning, and no central portal for persons to report their distress and how they have been affected and their needs. The Flood Emergency Center is intended to assist in collecting, collating, and disseminating information for the benefit of the public and the Civil Defense Commission.
Persons interested in the services offered by the center can call 503-2465 and other means of communication which will be made available by the party shortly. The opposition leader also called on the government to compensate persons who have experienced losses during the floods. Don't go away. When we come back, we have your regional and international news.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I could do here.
Hi guys, my name is Ms. Singh and I'm the senior teacher at the Agriculture After School program. Due to the spread of the coronavirus and the need for social distancing, we have moved our in-class learning activities to online via Skype. On the online side, we will be focusing on spelling, phonics, reading, and the National Grade 6 assessments. For more information, you can inbox us or call us.
Contact us on 675-4379. I can call them now. Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Alabama Trading has everything you need every day. The best brands at the lowest prices. And right now, you can save much more on a larger range of food products and everyday essentials. Choose from our extensive array of fresh and packaged food items. Plus, there's a huge variety in ladies' handbags and accessories, children toys, backpacks and school bags, bicycles, rugs, outdoor and indoor furniture, cleaning and sanitizing products, and so much more. Alabama Trading. Better products, better prices.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Despite opposition, President Jair Bolsonaro says Brazil will host the Copa American football tournament later this month. The tournament was moved from Argentina, which is battling rising COVID-19 infections, but so is Brazil, where only 10% of the population has been inoculated. Al Jazeera's Monica Yannicke reports.
Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro stood by his decision. The country with the world's second largest COVID-19 death toll will host the Copa America, welcoming South American teams for a 4-week football tournament. He said his ministers agreed it would not pose a health threat.
From the beginning, I've said this about the pandemic. I regret the deaths, but we have to live. If everyone just stays home, then farmers should stay home, and I want to see how city dwellers will survive.
His words came 3 days after tens of thousands of Brazilians took to the streets, accusing Bolsonaro of mishandling the pandemic and delaying the vaccine rollout.
There is no way to qualify the insanity of trying to host an event of this magnitude in our country. Argentina and Colombia are doing better than Brazil in terms of the pandemic, but they both withdrew as hosts of this tournament.
Congressmen also voiced their outrage. Senator Renan Calheiros, rapporteur of the Senate committee investigating the government's handling of the pandemic, said Brazil was set to host a death championship.
Since I cannot appeal to the President, to the Health Minister and the Brazilian Football Confederation because they're all denialists, I want to appeal to the Brazilian players. Neymar, don't accept holding the Copa America in our country.
It's not only on the streets and in Congress that people are discussing whether Brazil should or should not host the Copa America. This debate has ended up in the Supreme Court. The opposition Workers' Party has asked the judiciary branch to stop the championship. A Supreme Court justice has given the president 5 days to explain the government's last-minute decision. Bolsonaro, though, is pressing ahead with the plans and has announced that at least 3 cities, besides Rio de Janeiro, have agreed to host the matches. Monica Yannicke, Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.
Internationally, Antony Blinken is in Costa Rica as part of President Joe Biden's goal to tackle the root cause of migration and to back an effort to stop refugees and migrants from arriving at the United States southern border. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Alonso reports.
Bustling with activity, downtown San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica, a country with steady economic growth, a politically stable democracy, and a world leader in environmental policies. Add it all up, and this is why the tiny Central American country of 5 million people is often called a shining success story. It is not a mistake, then, that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in town to meet with Costa Rica's President Carlos Alvarado Quesada and discuss, among other things, a growing surge of migrants from Central America along the U.S. southern border. For Blinken, Costa Rica isn't the problem, but much of the rest of Central America is.
We meet at a moment when democracy and human rights are being undermined in many parts of the region. We see this in the erosion of judicial independence, the crackdown on independent media and NGOs, the barring of political opponents, the quashing of anti-corruption efforts.
In April alone, a record 178,000 migrants were stopped at the southern U.S. border trying to enter the U.S. Of those, nearly half, or more than 80,000, came from just 3 Central American countries: El Salvador, Honduras, or Guatemala. The U.S. has contentious relationships with the leaders of all 3 countries. In El Salvador, President Nayib Bukele recently fired the Attorney General and all members of the Supreme Court in what Washington views as an illegal power grab. In Honduras, President Juan Orlando Hernandez is under investigation in the U.S. for alleged drug trafficking. And in Guatemala, the president there has been accused of trying to undercut the courts and remove anti-corruption judges in a move seen as an erosion of democracy. It's clear the Biden administration sees an urgent need to regain partners here in Central America despite the challenges. Blinken's trip comes ahead of Vice President Kamala Harris's trip to Guatemala and Mexico next week. But Central America is changing. No longer do all the countries here in the region automatically say yes to everything that Washington wants when Washington wants it. And increasingly, more countries here are speaking with different voices, voices that often run contrary to the interests of the United States. Gabriel Elizondo, Al Jazeera, San Jose, Costa Rica.
And finally, victims of a landslide in eastern Uganda are taking the government to court for failing to protect communities from climate change. The lawsuit says the authorities should have relocated survivors of the 2019 disaster. Al Jazeera's Zain Bashravi reports.
The highlands of Mount Elgon are one of the most dangerous places to live in Uganda. For years, experts have warned of unprecedented rising temperatures and extreme rainfall. Floods have eroded soil, degraded land, and destroyed whole villages. For the most vulnerable, losses can be measured in human lives.
My wife was in the house that day, but the children had gone to their grandmother's place, but my wife was taken by the landslide, together with the house and everything.
Heavy rains in June 2019 triggered a series of landslides. At least 5 people were confirmed killed, another 50 remain missing to this day. With 150 houses buried in the mud, survivors were left with nothing.
Since the landslide, the government has been able to help others, but for me, I haven't received any help.
6 months later, another landslide killed 30 more people and left dozens more missing. Years on, the construction of new homes and moving displaced communities to the lowlands remains in its early stages.
Resettlement and relocation is being done in phases. The government does not have all the resources to resettle them at once, but they are being taken in phases. So the first phase has already gone, and they have constructed for them over 100 units of homes where they're settling, and then they're encouraging others to move. So it is going to be done in phases.
In May, 48 survivors from Bududa district took their case to Uganda's High Court, accusing the government of failing to protect people living in areas prone to mudslides and being too slow to relocate survivors. Hearings are expected to begin this month. This eastern part of the country is more vulnerable than others to climate change. Between 2008 and 2018, the government recorded more than 400 landslides in the area. Still, one official says, many refuse to leave.
We've been physically going to these places, and you get to a household that is on the steep slopes, and you tell them where you are, is very prone to landslides. Could you accept to move? Because we've not been using force. First of all, it is not internationally encouraged and allowed to use force to relocate these people. You must seek their consent. You give them information and they make informed decision to move or to stay. But there are some that have been refusing to move.
But some are still waiting for help.
The government just came and picked other people. They came back and told us, we'll take you too. They gave us cards, but to date they haven't come back.
For now, Vincent still walks the land where he once lived, where his children once played, and where his wife lies buried beneath the mud. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. For this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, stay safe and take care.